Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Towhid from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. আজকে আমরা অনেক গুরুত্বপূর্ণ জিনিস নিয়ে আলোচনা করব. So let's stick around with us. And today we are going to talk about some transferable skills from your IELTS speaking portion to your job interviews. Okay. And today we have someone special with us, and that special person is.
Hello everyone, it's me, Sergeant Kareem.
Yes, and he is our band out 9 out of 9 in speaking module, right? Awesome. এবং আজকে উনি যেটা শেয়ার করবেন, recently he went through a job interview. Alhamdulillah, he secured the job. Awesome. Alhamdulillah. So let's say congratulations to Sergeant Kareem, right? Awesome. Perfect. So এখন যেটা হতে যাচ্ছে, আমাদের Sergeant Kareem স্যার যেটা করবেন, সবাইকে IELTS স্পিকিং পার্ট 2 পার্ট 3 ট্রান্সফারেবল স্কিলগুলো কিভাবে এখানকার কানাডার জবের ইন্টারভিউগুলোতে নিয়ে আসা যায় সেটা নিয়ে ইনশাআল্লাহ উনি কথা বলবেন. সো লেটস হিয়ার ফ্রম হিম রাইট নাও. Okay, Charja, let's go ahead.
So
Let's walk on that way. Yep.
Basically, the thing that I found most interesting about this interview process was basically a 4-step process. So basically, you have to go through 4 different stages in order to get the final job, which thankfully I did. And if you fail any one step, they'll kind of just stop you right there. Like, if you fail the second step, they'll be like, okay, you don't need to contact us anymore. We'll just contact you, but they never do end up contacting you. We all know, anyone who's ever been to multiple job interviews knows how this works. Anyway,
Absolutely.
so let me get to the process. So because of COVID, the process was a bit different than usual. So for example, the first step, I didn't talk to an actual human being.
Okay.
It was a pre-set up program. It was already set up for me to, basically they had a few questions for me that I went on a website, read, and then video recorded myself answering. Now, when I was doing it, something peculiar came to my mind. Them asking me a question, a pre-written question, and me answering it on a video, that was so very similar to our Ielts speaking part 2 question and answer. And when I say similar, I mean like 90% similar. Because after they showed me the question, I had 30 seconds to prepare my answer.
Wow.
And then I had to speak for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
So it means it's almost like the
Almost
speaking.
same. The only difference is in our IELTS exam, part 2, we get 1 minute of preparation time and we have to speak for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So the only difference is like 30 seconds here and there.
Yeah.
So that's what I found most peculiar. Like the thing that we're trying to learn for our IELTS, it's not just there for no reason. It is something you can apply to your actual real life once you get here in Canada for your interviews.
Okay.
Now, that was my first step. And once I submitted my video recordings, they checked my recordings, of course, and then they got back to me because they liked what they saw.
Okay.
So that will be equivalent to you passing your part 2 speaking exam. The examiner liking your part 2 speaking answer.
Okay.
Now, after that, because of COVID, the second interview was with a real person, but it was on Google Meet, still online. Now, this interview, I was asked a bunch of questions. It lasted for about 15 minutes. But again, other than the technical questions about my skills and experiences, I was asked some other questions which also seemed very familiar to me. And the reason they were familiar is because these questions were basically speaking part 3.
Okay.
Our speaking part 3 questions. So, since I already knew how to answer our speaking part 3 questions, this part of the interview was a breeze for me as well.
Okay.
So once again, here we see something we're learning for an exam, our IELTS exam, but it is actually applicable to our real life scenarios when you're trying to get a job. And on the second interview, my third interview was on Google Meet as well, and my final interview was in person.
Okay.
My second, third, and fourth interview, all the questions I was asked, other than my skills and experience, the extra questions they asked where they just wanted to know about me, what my life experiences are, what I'm all about, what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, you can all basically relate them to our speaking, either part 1, the introduction questions, or part 3, the types of question we face. And I answered them exactly how one would in the IELTS exam. And I guess I did it right because, once again, alhamdulillah, I got the job.
Awesome.
So that's what I found most awesome about this case. It's not just an exam. We're not just learning these questions just for nothing. It is actually applicable in your real life, for real life interviews, job processes. So that's why the Ielts exam is so important, and that's why you need to study properly, learn properly, and do properly.
And absolutely, you need to apply those learnings on your day-to-day life, right, my dear?
Absolutely,
Okay, so here's another question for you. When you face that real face-to-face viva, right, visiting their office and that stuff, so what were the questions like? Give us some basic questions what they asked.
One question that stuck with me was, and it is actually a kind of a common question, is what's your weakness? Now, anyone who's ever done a job interview will know this is a very common question that people want to know. But if you just once again apply the speaking part 3 formulas we learned, this question is not hard to answer at all.
Okay.
Because you don't really need some complicated, convoluted answer.
Absolutely.
You just need to follow the steps we know and learn for speaking part 3.
So you teach them in the class, right?
Yes.
These are the steps you are teaching them in the
Of course,
class.
these are the steps that we're learning in class.
Okay.
Regularly, on a
So
regular
IELTS speaking module এই জিনিসগুলো শেখানো হচ্ছে আমাদের প্ল্যাটফর্মে so that people can transfer these learnings in their day-to-day life while they are in Canada, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome, perfect. Let's go to that direction.
Alright.
Okay, awesome. So now I have another question to you. Again, IELTS speaking যেখানে প্রিপারেশন নিচ্ছে, okay, কোন কোন জিনিসগুলো তার আসলে রেডি হওয়া উচিত?
Now, this question sometimes tends to be a bit tricky to answer because there's not really something you can leave out when preparing for the IELTS exam. So basically the things we teach you, the steps we go through, whether they are pre-scheduled or whether we teach them in the heat of the moment, everything is so important for our IELTS speaking test because everything is important for your preparation. To
That's
answer
great.
the questions, to get through the question, not the question, the entirety of the exam.
Okay.
And as we're just noticing now, not only the exam, but real life as well.
Absolutely. Here's another question for you. How to handle part 3 questions in IELTS speaking module? How to develop your answer and how to connect your answer with your next phase of answer? How you can do that?
Okay. So this is something I always tell my students in our batches. It's the most important thing is to remember to stay natural. The answers must flow with each other. They must never be convoluted. They must never seem stuck together. যদি আপনার কথা শুনে এক্সামিনার মনে করে যে আপনি মুখস্থ করে কথা বলছেন অথবা আপনার কথা বলতে অনেক কষ্ট হচ্ছে, that's very bad for you. ন্যাচারালি নর্মালি আমরা যেভাবে কথা বলি মানুষের সাথে, এই যে ক্যামেরার পিছনে আমাদের তৌহিদ ভাই দাঁড়িয়ে আছেন, তিনি আমাকে কোনো প্রশ্ন করলে এই যে এই মুহূর্তে তিনি আমাকে প্রশ্নগুলো করছেন, আমি সেগুলো যেভাবে অ্যান্সার দিচ্ছি, that is so very similar to speaking part 3.
Absolutely.
What you're doing is you are just explaining your own point of view, and that's what speaking part 3 is. Now there are some nook and crannies here and there that we discuss in our classes, but the bare basic of it comes down to you explaining yourself in a natural manner, what you believe and you know, and you're expressing it.
That is awesome, great. Okay, now I একটু কথা বলবো এবার কানাডা নিয়ে একটু কথা বলি. Okay, Canada lifestyle, is it coming back to the normal again?
It is hopefully slowly coming back to normal because a lot of people here have had not only their first dose but also their second dose of COVID vaccine, me and Towhid bhai included, thankfully.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And slowly a lot of places are opening up, a lot of businesses are slowly starting to open their doors to people, maybe not just exactly as before it was COVID, but they are slowly getting there. So yes, life is slowly coming back to some sort of normality.
Alhamdulillah, which is actually great, right?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. And now আরেকটা কোয়েশ্চেন করে আমি এই পোর্শনটাকে একটা কনক্লুশনে নিয়ে আসবো. Right now the people who are preparing in IELTS, who are preparing for IELTS examination right in Bangladesh with us, what would be the suggestion from you to them? Should they like practice day in day out, or they like the only classes will like suffice for them?
So here's the fun part. What people need to mostly focus on is not hours and hours and hours and hours and upon practice every single day. No, because even if you practice for 12 hours straight, but if you don't know what you're doing, that's not going to help you, is it?
Absolutely.
So what do you need to do? Even if you practice for only, let's say, 2 hours a day, make sure you know what you're doing and you're doing it properly. So that would be my suggestion. No matter how much time you spend after this language, do so properly. Know what you're doing. You need to know what you're doing, because if you practice the wrong way, you're going to learn the wrong thing.
Yep.
So you need to know what you're doing and practice properly.
Absolutely. So it is meaning that আমাকে কেউ বললো যে তাহিদ ভাইয়া আপনি সদরঘাট যাবেন, কিন্তু আমাকে দেখাই দিল উত্তরা যাওয়ার রাস্তা।
Exactly.
সো আমি উত্তরা গিয়ে ফোন দিলাম, ভাই আমি কি সদরঘাট আসছি? সো বললো না, আপনি তো সদরঘাট আসেন, আমি উত্তরা এয়ারপোর্টে এসে বসে আছেন।
আপনি যতই ফ্যান্সি কার ইউজ করেন, এসি গাড়িতে করে যান, যতই 3-4 ঘন্টা ধরে ড্রাইভ করেন, পৌঁছাবেন না কিন্তু সদরঘাটে।
ইয়েস। সো আমার কি হলো, আমি উত্তরা গেলাম। এখন হলো ক্রুশিয়াল পার্টটা। এখন যদি আমি বলি ওকে এখন আমাকে সদরঘাট যেতে হবে, সো আগে আমি ঢাকার রামপুরা থেকে সদরঘাট যেতে চাচ্ছিলাম, এখন আমি চলে গেছি উত্তরা। ইট মিনস আমাকে এখন অনেক এক্সট্রা আওয়ার আসতে হবে। সো উত্তরা থেকে ফার্স্ট রামপুরা, দেন সদরঘাট। সো আমি যদি রং স্টেপসগুলো ফলো করি এবং সেই জিনিসগুলো আমাকে এমন একটা ডেস্টিনেশনে নিয়ে যাবে যে ডেস্টিনেশনটা আমার জন্য একটা ব্যাড ডেস্টিনেশন, ওখান থেকে রাইট ডেস্টিনেশনে আসতে আমাকে না অনেক বড় সময় যাবে, রাইট মাই ডিয়ার? সো এই জন্য আমরা বলতে চাচ্ছি যে যারা প্রিপারেশন নিচ্ছেন এই টাইমে, তারা অবশ্যই যেন একটা রাইট ওয়েতে প্রিপারেশন নেন, and that's what we are doing in our IELTS batches, right my dear?
Absolutely.
Awesome, perfect. Okay, so and awesome, great. It looks better here, no?
It does look better here. The lighting's better.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So it looks better over here, alhamdulillah. Again, guys, from me and from Shajar Kurim, what we are saying, what we're trying to say is that please correlate your IELTS speaking preparation or even IELTS reading preparation or writing or even listening preparation to your day-to-day life, to your normal life, because it does correlate, okay? Once again, here what we are trying to say is that transfer your skills from our batches to day-to-day life, okay? It will help you a lot, inshallah. So আমাদের ব্যাচগুলোতে আপনারা জয়েন করতে পারেন। জয়েন করার জন্য আপনারা আমাদের IELTS এর পেজে যোগাযোগ করেন, ওকে? আমাদের IELTS এন্ড কানাডা পেজে যোগাযোগ করেন, আলহামদুলিল্লাহ। উই হ্যাভ আওয়ার ওন সেট অফ রুলস অ্যান্ড রেগুলেশন। আরেকটা ফাইনালি কথা বলতে চাই, সেটা হচ্ছে আমাদের ব্যাচে জয়েন করার আগে আপনারা কয়েকটা কোয়েশ্চেন নিজের জন্য করবেন। সেটা হচ্ছে যে আপনারা আমাদের সাথে যখন পড়ালেখা করবেন টানা 2 মাস আপনাকে লিটারালি ভালোভাবে পড়ালেখা করতে হবে। ডেইলি একটা রুটিন আছে আমাদের, সেই ডেইলি রুটিনটা আপনাকে ফলো করতে হবে এবং আমাদের একজন সহকর্মী কলিগ আপনাকে ডেইলি নক করবে এই বাড়ির কাজগুলো করেছেন কি করেন সেটা জানার জন্য। সো ওইটা কিন্তু আপনাকে করতে হবে। একটুখানি বলে দিই, যদি ডেইলি আপনি বাড়ির কাজগুলো না করেন, সাকসেসিভলি ইউ আর মিসিং 3 days from your daily routine without any sort of causes, then we are going to drop from our batch, surely, right? Right away we are going to do that, okay? So there is no chance of hanky bunky with us. আমাদের সাথে আসা মানে হচ্ছে we mean business, okay? We means real IELTS, okay? So এটা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ, because IELTS preparation complete না হলে কানাডা হবে না
অবশ্যই।
So our dream to make your dream successful, right? যে আপনাদের স্বপ্নগুলো পূরণ করার জন্য আপনাদের জন্য পরিশ্রম করে যাওয়া, রাইট? সো এই যে স্বপ্নগুলোর জন্য পরিশ্রম করে যাওয়া, এই স্বপ্নগুলো হচ্ছে কানাডা আসার প্রথম স্টেপ হচ্ছে আইএলস এ যদি বাধা অতিক্রম না করেন তাহলে স্বপ্ন হবে না। সো IELTS is very important, guys. So again, we are really focused on our IELTS preparation. Please do a study at your home. Inshallah you will do really good, inshallah. We are there for you guys to help, right? Sharja, any final words for all of them?
Well, we're always here to help you guys in any shape and form, but we cannot help you unless you're helping yourself. To make sure that you're helping yourself so we can help you.
Awesome. With that, I'm going to end this session. Take care of yourself and family. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.